I don't want to go into too much detail. Like, honestly, some of my experiences are really humiliating for me.
I've lost my whole family and it sucks.
I feel like people can see through my clothes and it brings me deep shame.
I was constantly getting sick, and also, with infections down there, like bacterial vaginosis, urinary tract infections, yeast infections, and then eventually, towards the end of my career, I caught herpes.
We have all recently seen these kind of posts on our X or Twitter feeds recently. Well, it's all about this big conspiracy we are going to reveal in this video. You won't be the same person after watching this video. You see, the corn industry tries to tell you that all their actors are having a good time, everybody's making money from it, and the consumer watching the corn videos is having a great experience. This video is exactly what the corn industry doesn't want you to know. This is the dark truth that the corn industry doesn't want anyone to find out. I'm going to be exposing and unveiling certain corn stars, and many of you will know these female actors. How much they regret getting into the adult industry, how they wish they made better decisions, how they wish they could be married and have kids and be close to their families. Because again, the world tries to tell you that corn is healthy, corn is good for every single person. These women, they're making a whole lot of money from it. They enjoy, they love sex, all these different types of things. But that's the furthest thing from the truth because, again, it's not all rainbows and sunshine. But you're not going to be the same after watching this.
During my short stint in porn, the really extreme acts were what was popular, and that's why, being the #1 performer in the industry at the time, everyone wanted to make money off me, so they pushed me to do these things. And it just gets really extreme, like you were saying, abusive. I don't want to go into too much detail. Like, honestly, some of my experiences are really humiliating for me, and I wish that they never happened. There's stuff going on, like people getting pissed on, men are pissing inside of women's vaginas, assholes, down their throats. Sorry.
Oh, don't cry. I've lost my whole family and it sucks. So a lot of times when people ask me if they should do, I tell them no. I tell them that it makes life really hard. It makes dating really hard. It makes your family life really hard. It makes intimacy hard. You're putting yourself out there and the world is now judging you. You have to be okay with being shamed every day of your life. I don't even want to have children because I do porn because I'm worried of the way that people will treat my child. With me personally, my mom was supportive in the beginning. She kind of just let me do whatever, that I think it was a good thing. I had a lot of freedom. As time progressed and I became successful, I started to feel like my mom was using me so that she could live a more luxurious lifestyle. When I started to set like these boundaries, not giving her money or things like that, it made our relationship a bit more difficult and almost toxic. And so it sucks. I don't have a mom anymore. I don't talk to her. I miss having a mom. I feel like you can't rewind and you can't go back. I don't have that relationship with her anymore. I don't ever think I will. And that bums me out. Bums me out a lot. I talked to my dad and he struggles with my job being in the industry. He's also religious. Recently I wanted to go visit him and he said that I can't go visit because his wife, my stepmom, doesn't want me there. I'm not allowed to go visit my dad anymore because my stepmom doesn't like that I do. But then he told me that when I was like, can we like go get coffee and like we could go like get breakfast? And he's like, I don't want to be seen in public with you. And that just hurt so bad. And it sucks. I lost my family. I don't talk to like my brothers or sisters. I think that they all kind of like try to take advantage of me and stuff, or they're just like, my dad don't want to be around me.
That's not how it was. It wasn't just, hey, do you want to come do it? It was more so, oh, you're beautiful. Like, would you like to do some modeling? Oh, you have a great body. Like, I think you'd be great in modeling. Things like that. And after I came and toured the studio, it was very respectable. It was a gorgeous location. It was in Miami, in Doral, Florida. It was clean. Everyone who worked there was nice. All of their cubicles were decorated with family photos. Like, it was nothing dodgy or that made me uncomfortable. And after the first time I went in wasn't the first time I filmed a movie. It was the second time. The first time was more so, do you want to do this? Like, sign the paperwork, et cetera, et cetera.
So these guys, they just saw you, frankly, as a money machine.
Absolutely.
But you still had no advisors, you had no lawyer, you had no nothing. So
what 21-year-old has a lawyer on retainer?
I'm just trying to get my head around how stressful this must have been, and whether even now, because you sit here so poised, and obviously a lot of time has passed and you've moved on, but do you think there is some sort of post-traumatic stress that is in you from this experience?
Yes, and I think it kicks in mostly when I go out in public, because the stares I get, I feel like people can see through my clothes, and it brings me deep shame. It makes me feel like I lost all right to my privacy, which I did, because I'm one Google search away.
Yeah.
It's days like this where I realize I need to go play with myself for a living. I just ate, I'm tired, and then I think to myself, maybe a 9-to-5 won't be so bad, you know? I know you don't feel sorry for me, but after 4 years, you know, my just sits there and it's like, please, please, ma'am, no more, not again. I'm just like, no, I'm sorry.
I was earning a lot of money and I was struggling to pay my rent because I had a really, really bad drug addiction. I would spend thousands and thousands of dollars on drugs a week because I started off with cocaine, but then eventually I was battling with the heroin addiction. I could tell that I just was super high. My eyes look all glossy. So I was also battling with severe suicidal thoughts.
So the scene starts and right away it's just push, push, slap, slap, split, spit, slut, horror. It was just this bomb of just physical abuse, you know, and I knew that going into that it was gonna be like that, but I mean, it was just sort of, whoa, you know, it really took me off guard.
I was constantly going to urgent care. I had to be taken to urgent care, I think more than 10 times. And then the actual emergency room, I had to go there twice. I was constantly getting sick with strep throat, mono, getting the flu. I was constantly getting sick, and also, you know, with infections down there, like bacterial vaginosis, urinary tract infections, yeast infections, and then eventually, towards the end of my career, I caught herpes. But yeah, I was constantly getting sick, and not just that, because of the types of scenes that I was doing, I couldn't eat. I was not allowed to eat. And so I would go days without eating and just really munch on gummy bears and energy drinks just so I could get through my scenes. So I wasn't healthy at all.
Women go through the carousel. They are simply unable to be innocent again, and their brains get fried. The carousel is a serious matter, and that's why men vet women out there before putting a ring on it. A woman with extensive sexual experience, including Korn, is the worst bet for any man. She might want to sign an NDA and say that she'll honor you, but the past still remains. Women don't get that men are finally waking up. Why is it? Because men are suddenly sexist and misogynistic? Not at all. The fact of the matter is very easy to understand. Mind what she does, not what she says. That's the biggest piece of advice you can get. A woman might want to act right to get and even retain you for some time, but her true self will always be there. That being said, my empathy goes toward the innocent ones who are trafficked. P0rNstars are willing participants and are compensated for their actions. No one forced them to sign the contracts. It's funny to me how Mia is talking about how much she hates and yet it didn't stop her from starting an OnlyFans. A woman's past is not something we talk about to mock women, but rather to warn you of the dangers ahead. The more bodies she racks up, the more contacts she's got and can come back to. Honestly, I think you wouldn't like to get involved with a chick who's got dozens of men on her phone, and me neither. Let's try to understand what women think for a moment. Women love attention, and when they get massive ego boosts that make them feel like queens. Note that the word here is feelings, not facts. When women go on a dating app, they can easily get matches. Dozens, if not hundreds of men are so desperate to get laid that they swipe right around 70% of the time. What about women, though? They do it only 30% of the time. Women filter out all these men in terms of looks, which I totally get. But when they're dealing with a guy, they often overlook what matters in the long run: his attitude, his personality, and how much of a husband material kind of guy he is. But no, these women utilize dating apps as hookup sites, and if the man's got enough game, he'll smash her and probably dash her. And do you think this happens only one time out of innocence? You better think twice. These women love the attention men give for free, and unfortunately, they often don't consider the consequences of their actions. It's a cycle of seeking validation and temporary pleasure without thinking about the long-term implications.
To give your support, click the thumbs up button. Please leave a comment below if you would like to see more videos like this one. Be sure to give it to the guys who are in the most precarious need of it.